to make sure that people are comfortable while they're out there. So we've been bringing in with the organizers enough porta potties and facilities so that people can be able to use the restroom, make sure that they're well supplied. We'll have a lot of areas for people to deposit trash, but we found last year that there was a significant amount of trash left in various areas in the park and along the beach afterwards. So if you can, please pack your trash out with you. That would be greatly appreciated. There are no concessions in the park, so please bring your water, bring your food, and the parking lot for the park will be closed so we can make sure that the emergency vehicles can get in and out expeditiously. So wear comfortable footwear so you're going to be walking a fair distance. We really appreciate how everybody had such a great spirit of aloha, and the vibe last year was wonderful. So please, be patient, be considerate of your fellow park goers and viewers there. If you're bringing in a bike, just make sure that you're considerate where you're wheeling it and take care of the folks around you, and stay safe while you're out there.
So there you have it. I just want to say just a couple of closing comments. First of all, thank you all, the amount of work and preparation. So 'tis the season. This is the weekend before Christmas. As you can tell, a lot of people are going to be working this weekend that didn't really plan on doing that to help support this event. So we're really very excited about it. And just to add a perspective, this is the Super Bowl of surfing competition. This is a world-class event. All eyes will be on this all over, not just the people who may see it, whether it's locally on TV or elsewhere. Help us make it a world-class event. The best person to protect you starts with you. The best person to help us put the trash on the beach is you, and so on and so forth. So everybody's in this together. I could not be more confident or proud of the men and women you just heard from on everything we're going to do, but we're all in this together. So I want to wish everybody the very best in holiday season. I'm going to bring Nate up here to wrap it up. But we're really excited about this. Going to keep our fingers crossed till 3 a.m., 7 a.m. Sunday morning, but we really hope this happens. Thank you.
Thank you to all our first responders. Just a few additional details. Kurt had mentioned the best place to watch it is at home. There are 3 different ways that you can watch it for live streaming services. K-High will be live streaming it. Rogue.tv app will be live streaming it, and Rip Curl YouTube will also be streaming it. So if you can't make it out there, by all means, watch it from the safety and comfort of your own home. Some of the parking restrictions, the details, there will be no parking along Kamehameha Highway from Iliohu Street all the way up to the cathedral to St. Peter and Paul Church. So please mark the barricades there, respect those barricades, and watch out for pedestrians, as Roger and HPD mentioned as well too. And please, no flying drones within Waimea Bay. There's going to be lots of other cameras, lots of other aerial photography. So we want to make sure that that's kept open for the event organizers and for our first responders. And also there is parking within Waimea Valley, paid parking, that is going to be available beginning 4 a.m. on Sunday. It is not cheap, but it is available, and it is within close proximity. They're a great sponsor of the event, according to the Erea Cal family and to the event organizers. So they're going to keep their concessions open, and they will have normal operations for people who want to visit the valley and the waterfall back there. But really, the spectacle is going to be on the beach there. So with that, I'll open it up to questions from the media.
Nate, I don't know if you or if parking at parks, is it still regular tonight, tomorrow, 10 p.m. when parks close? Are you still allowed to park there, or is the park closed?
So yeah, parking, the Waimea Bay Beach Park closes from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So the parking lot at the beach park is going to be closed at 10 p.m. on Saturday, the Saturday before, and then it's going to be just restricted to contestants, the staff, and city personnel within that circular beach park parking lot on Sunday. It'll probably open up little by little as the evening sets in, but don't count on there being parking anywhere in the beach park or in that immediate vicinity around Waimea Bay. A lot of people seem to, will park in different areas. Pupukea Beach Park still has some parking further up by the Foodland there. Kayaka Bay Beach Park and Haleiwa Beach Parks do have public parking. It's a really popular way to get there for people to park there and to ride their bicycles. We just express caution with that. If you are going to be biking, it's probably going to be dark when you do that, so consider having some lights on your bicycle as well too, because it's very limited shoulder space. So just be considerate, drive with aloha and share the roadway.
I'm sure some people are thinking that they're probably going to go there and camp out overnight. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the park's going to be closed. Yeah, so when it's closed to everyone. But the event organizers do have a permit for it to be there, and they're going to be setting up all day Saturday. So it's going to be busy Saturday, absolutely into Sunday. So no overnight camping if you're a member of the public. If you've got friends on the North Shore, by all means, stay with them so that you can get an early rise there. But there will be no overnight camping at Waimea Bay Beach Park.
To clarify, with an event of this magnitude and all the emergency resources on standby, does the city plan to activate the EOC for any reason to centralize all this communication?
HPD folks want to take that? Yeah.
Actually, yes, we'll be actually operating out of the Honolulu Police Department Department Operations Center, along with all the representatives and as well as the EOC staff. And we moved it to that location because it's a larger location, has a little bit more capabilities that we'd like to use that day for maintaining situational awareness.
And who exactly is going to be the leader in charge of it that day? As we understand, the acting director is out of town. Who's the point of command there?
Right. I believe that the operation itself is going to be run by the incident commander is Acting Major Gonzalez, myself as the deputy commander of the operation. I believe HFD will be filling the role of the director for DEM in her absence, but the operation itself will be running on a command structure by a combined staff, including Captain Gonzalez and myself. Yes, sir.
That's accurate, yeah. Honolulu Fire Department Chief Sheldon Howe is going to step in as the head of Department of Emergency Management for Incident Command.
Possible to ask Liam a question?
Absolutely.
Liam, if you don't mind, so much is made of the conditions being right for it to be held. Is it possible for it to be too big?
So our concern the whole time all week was, is it going to be big enough? And is everything going to come together? There's, 4 or 5 different factors in order to have a great day of surfing. I've actually got a few text messages and phone calls from a couple people asking me if I think it's going to be too big. I don't think it's going to be too big, but the forecasting over the years has always been forecast a little under what the swells are really coming in at. But I'm 90% confident that this swell is going to provide the maximum height that we want to run the event. I don't think it's going to exceed that. And I think it's going to arrive on time for a nice solid 8 hours of competition. Those are the key factors. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be too big, but this swell has been increased in size a decent amount as we've been following it.
I do have one more question about drone enforcement. Obviously, it's kind of hard to tackle those, but we often see drones flying in the air at big events. You folks say no drones. Is there any way to actually enforce that and pull them down or track whoever's operating them?
Yeah, drones are a hot topic these days, aren't they? So we actually have a drone program which we ourselves will be running along with our partners from EMS and HFD as far as a drone response at the event, more for situational awareness. But as far as drone monitoring, the officers in the event are tasked with looking out for potential drone intrusions. They can report it, they'll document it. If we can locate the source and figure out where it's being operated from, we'll intervene at that point. But honestly, we're very limited on what we can and can't do if we can't locate the actual operator and where the drone lands. So that's pretty much it.
That brings up a good point, though. There's going to be tens of thousands of people at this event. If you guys see something, say something. If you see someone launching a drone, tell them to knock it off. If you see someone doing something inappropriate, please tell them to knock it off. Or go find a lifeguard. There will be lots of presence of emergency responders there. If you cannot handle the situation, please go find an emergency responder to help with the situation. We want this to be as safe and enjoyable as possible. It's already going to be a dangerous situation with this monster surf that's out there. So please, if you see something, say something.
I have a question regarding pedestrians walking along the sidewalk. The last event, they were spilling onto the road, and it didn't seem like there was any really monitoring of that. Is that going to be monitored a little bit more closely this year?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, that's going to be one of our primary focuses, just because of the sheer volume of people at the last Eddy. We've increased our staffing, and this year we've got a lot more mobile units, so we're utilizing bicycle officers, motorcycle officers, and officers on ATVs and UTVs, as well as officers on foot. So, yeah, it'll still be a challenge, but I think we'll have enough flexibility with staffing and personnel out there that hopefully we can try to keep a level of control over it and keep the roadways clear. But of course, it would help if the public just kind of worked with us in that and didn't spill over onto the roadways.
People were also on the side of the mountain last year, like climbing like across from the, bay. And
Yeah, I heard about that. I wasn't at the last Eddy, but I know based on the feedback we got from the last operation, we just devoted a lot more resources this time around in anticipation of these problems. So the officers, and we also have officers from the State Department of Law Enforcement that'll be assisting us as well. So it's kind of an all hands on deck. And those officers will be looking out for potentially unsafe situations, and especially if we receive reports that the swells are getting larger, or if there's a possibility where there may be a danger to folks closer to shore, our officers will definitely act based on that information and try to make adjustments to the folks out there, keeping safety in mind.
With the size of this swell, last Eddy we saw it washing into the crowd, as mentioned. Has there been any plans to push that back already in terms of how far people can actually get to the shoreline for the organizers? Have they been pushed back, or is it still the same?
I know for the police side of it, we're aware of it, and we're actually kind of putting that into our contingency plans, but Kurt can probably elaborate.
Maybe you can speak first.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a fluid situation. We'll make the assumptions or the decisions as we see the waves, and we'll manage the crowd as we need to. I did want to mention earlier, I forgot, with the waves washing into the crowd, it's not a good place to have young kids or pets. Last year we had to rescue a dog that got washed into the shore break. So I think just be mindful, and if the crowd can be flexible with us as we need to move people back, and just, again, listen to the lifeguards and the staff that's going to be at the event.
So one fortunate thing is we don't have a very high tide, which is very much a good thing for the water that's going to come in. I've been down there every day and been speaking to Joey Cadiz and a lot of the Waimea lifeguards. One of our problem areas last year was right in front of the lifeguard stand, all the bushes where we all saw those barriers. We're not going to allow anybody in front of there. We're not going to allow anybody in that grassy area by the lifeguards. And once the light comes and we look at the tides and the swell, we'll adjust the areas of the barriers based upon what the lifeguards and first responders feel is best for the safety of everyone.
One other safety note, I was actually down there for the last Eddy in January of 2023. Secure your loose belongings, and please, if you are in front of where the viewing plane is, don't have your kids there, don't have any pets there. The wash of the waves is very strong, and it is always changing, as Kurt mentioned. So please keep your eyes on the ocean. It's gonna change based off of that wash of the waves. So if you find yourself, right next to the front of the area, please secure your belongings, secure any small children, and also your pets.
Anything else?
Yeah, maybe some final words, or.
Just what Nate just said about it's been almost 2 years, right? We keep saying last year, but it was January of 23. If my memory serves me right, though, that was the first time we had the Eddy in 6 or 7 years. So lessons learned, okay? We learned a lot, even in referencing of your questions, and I think we're going to make every adjustment we can in the spirit of public safety based on what we just saw, so recently, if you will. But we saw it, we know what to expect, and so hopefully that's what we offer the public. But at the same time, the appeal is to the public, okay? And to help us help you to make it safe. We don't want anybody getting hurt, and so in that regard, as I said earlier, it's the weekend before Christmas. Let's just make it a really great, memorable event. Thank you very much.